Hello guys, and welcome to creating a cartoon ninja in Blender. This is part 10. It should be quite a quick part, assuming we don't run into any problems. Basically, we just need to create a vertex group um, holding the head and the hands in it, and applying that vertex group to the armature, telling the armature to use it, and applying it to the deform cage and inverting it, telling the deform cage to use the inverted section of what we painted. And then everything should be ready, and in part 11 we'll be setting up the scene that we're going to animate the character in. I'm going to duplicate the character to have a second version, and I'll paint him differently off screen and provide the textures for you guys. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. What we need to do to paint the vertex groups is just go to okay, no, we don't need to change anything with the bones. We just want to create a vertex group here, so I'm going to go to vertex groups, and we can see we've got everything here that's related to the hands and the face, so that's good. Then we just want to create a new one here and name it no def for deform, and yeah, that's about it, sorry, no deform. And then we can just go into vertex or weight paint here. The shortcut for this is Control Tab, and it takes you straight in there. And what I like to do first is go into edit mode here, and in wireframe mode we can make sure everything's deselected first, and then just come here and grab this head part right up to there. Okay, just to make sure we grabbed everything, which we didn't. Okay, so we got all of that, and then we just do the same here by the hands. So yeah, for the hands we want this whole section up to here, so let's do that, and then just grab the rest, and there we go. It's gonna mirror to the other side when we're painting, but just to be sure that we don't run into some problems, we might as well grab that side too. And I think that's about it. And then we just go back with the tab into weight paint, and we select this little square here, allowing us to only paint the parts we selected in edit mode. So now I just want to make sure my weight is on 1. So this is a plugin I have called Weight Palette. It's really nice and helps you to select certain strengths just off the bat, which is really nice, and helps you to work faster. I'll put a link to this in the description. So yeah, so let's get started. We want the weight full here, and I just want to make sure that we have X mirror and topology mirror enabled, and then we can literally just come here and paint this part just like that. Cool, and we'll do exactly the same thing. Okay, so something you can see here, we missed some parts, and we most likely missed some parts behind the eyes here. So a way to avoid this is to enable this part here. I think that was the right way, and then you can like paint through your object. So that means if I paint like here on the hand, just like that, it should have painted right through the hand, where if I undo this quickly, well, that's still okay, yeah, and I enable this again, if I paint now, you'll see it doesn't paint right through. Okay, so we disable that part and just do that. So just by the way, this tool works just the normal edit mode as well. When you do that in edit mode, even without wireframe on, you can select right through your object. Okay, so now since we did that, without adding any smoothing or anything to it, I want to test this. So yeah, as you can see, we've got some problems, and that's just because we've got the vertex group now. We go into object mode, and we need to go to our modifiers, and in the armature we're going to select the no diff. Okay, and then we're going to do the same inside here, so I think we should unbind it and then select the no diff and invert this. Okay, and then we can bind this again. It might take a few minutes or a few seconds. And another thing, by the armature we want to select preserve volume, just because the armature is controlling the hands, so I can't really tell you how this works, but I know it's a good thing to enable when you're working with tight spaces like by the fingers and stuff. So let's hope all that worked and we don't have any problems. So it looks quite good to me. When we move this part around, we can see the part overlapping on the shoulders are staying in good positions, and when we do this it does as well. And yeah, we should have the same control here by the hand. And yeah, so what we can see here is that it's not rotating perfectly or bending perfectly. So we can fix this by, first thing I'd like to do is just change the hand from IK to FK here, meaning arm IK off. Okay, and now we just have the FK, meaning I have to rotate just like that. Okay, so that's good. I want to see what's happening here, and then I want to go back into this, and all we need to do now is go into edit mode and deselect that, choose the square, and then hit this little button next to it so we have all these points, so that we can select it all. Or let's not select it all, let's select here and maybe here and this one here. Okay, and I just want to do the same on this side, so we selected this one, and okay, we've got this, that's why, and this one over here. Okay, everything else is good. And now what we can do is we have those points selected, we can make sure we only affect those points anyway, and go back to the tools, and here by your weight tools you have a smooth button, so let's hit that. And sorry, I just hit the period key to try and have better control around here. So yeah, I'm thinking perhaps that we should just select this edge here on like the glove area, and maybe this top part here as well, and just do the same thing. So just hit smooth like twice, and go back into object mode just to have a look here. So I think how we need to fix this is if we go into weight paint and maybe yeah, we need to select the bones first here, and in the bone group we're going to go to skeleton and just activate this layer here, and with X-ray you'll see what that does. These are the actual bones the weights have gone to. So now if we do that and control click on this hand bone, we can see what this hand bone is controlling here. And yeah, I think we want to try and mimic the hand's control onto the no deform page. Okay, so first thing we need to do is just make sure we have everything selected, and select this. Now we can go to the no deform page, and we can see that here we need to remove that, so we're going to go to the weight tools here and put subtract, and 1 is fine, and we just want to grab this area here, just like that. Okay, something weird happened here. Okay, that's giving us a really weird bend, so I'm going to undo that, and maybe what we need to do is add instead, and let's start somewhere low, just brush here. Okay, that's going right through my object again. I need that enabled. Okay, cool. So let's try point 10 here, just to give it some slight bend. Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, that looks okay. So yeah, maybe up here we can do the same thing quickly. We on the hand once. Let's see what happens up here. So yeah, it's as simple as just bending your wrist around a bit and then editing with the weight paint afterwards. And yeah, it's really easy to make things look weird with the weight painting, and that's why this weight tools are so nice, just to help you get a better deformation. So that's not perfect, but maybe it's still a bit more natural, that this thing is warping a bit like that. But yeah, so we can hide this layer here, and besides that, if we come in here, just hide some of our face tools, hide all the tweaks here, hide all the tweaks, hide the leg FKs, and keep the arm FKs, and we just select the other arm as well here and make sure that FK is turned up. I like to use FK on my arms, maybe just for before we go to animating and stuff, we can keep IK on just to test the rig. But yeah, now the final thing before we test the rig and play around, we want to take the eyes and go into the modifier tab. We can apply the mirror now and then add an armature, put it to the top, choose of course our rig, and now we need to bind this to a bone. So we select the rig again and we open up these ones. So I think it's a different one than that. Yeah, it's this one here. Okay, so we need to let me select the eye, please. I think that my eyes should be separate pieces just to make things easier. So I'm gonna select this one and say P by selection, and then I can say this I is I underscore L and this one's I underscore R. I'm really sorry about the sound of the vacuum. I'm gonna try and be quick so we don't have that. So you want to select this middle one that says make I.R, hit Control P and choose bone, and do the same on the side. Control P, bone. Okay, so now just to test that, we hide this layer. If we move this around, the eye moves and it's still deforming the skin around it, which is really nice. So now we can just go ahead quickly and test this rig. I will go more in detail and speak about the rig later on. There are some edits we need to do, which we'll have to do right now. I'm noticing it. I think there's a lot of our face bones here still affecting this part and parts of the head that I don't want it to. And another thing we'd have to change here is when we bring this down, we can see eventually it's doing this weird effect, and that's just because there's not enough weight here. I think it needs to be completely red and faded into the top and the corners. But yeah, let's just demonstrate the rest of the rig. So when IK is enabled on the hands don't follow along, and this helps a lot when you like get your character to hold onto something like a ledge and then you want to move the body but not animate the hands. But then if we turn switch it to FK here, and then we just enable the disable the IK controllers and enable the FK. Okay, so that's IK enabled. Here we have FK. Okay, so with FK enabled, if we move our torso around, the arms move with it. Okay, so here we've got our foot, which should bend up quite nicely in all ways. We can do that and rotate it. Okay, yeah, you can see how the character is flattening out and stuff. Don't worry about that. It's just because the binding here needs to be on 7 to work perfectly, and it takes quite a bit, so we'll do that soon. Here, if we bring this down, we've got the possibility to shake this around, move it around. The arms should be deforming really nicely, coming down next to the body, which is really good. It's what we want. And it seems to be deforming quite nice. yeah, so finally we just go back, select the bones, go in here, enable this group here, and I want to make sure when I come here that I have the X mirror thing on. And let's start by the ears because I'm sure there's some problems here. So yeah, it's going up a lot, so let's go to the brush, subtract 0.5, and let's just brush around here. Let's not give it all that influence to control. Okay, something like that. Let's select the second one. And we'll come back later and smooth it out if it's needed. And yeah, as you can see, this one is like affecting a big part of the head. I really don't like that. It's just the ear controller. And then we can move up to these. I'm sure they're overstretching their boundaries as well. We don't want it to affect too much to the back here. I'll have to come smooth that out later for sure. Here by the eyes, this is where things need to change. First thing first, I wanna just remove the X-ray from this up here and then go back into waypoint mode. Select this bone, hit period key so that we zoom up on it, and then I want to go to add, turn this up to 1, and let's hit this up. So we're going to grab this. It wants to be red, 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 red here, red here on this bone, red here. Grab this, red here, definitely, and then leave how it's fading out there. Let's not touch that. It needs to be red here and red here. Let's see. Okay, leave the rest here. I just want it to stay red. Here too, red. This bone, red. The rest looks fine. Here, just red, like that. And hopefully that changed a lot related to this. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, let's hide the eye. Just go in the rig here and hide the eyes. Okay, so that we do not want at all. So subtract 1 and just remove this here. So I really don't know why it's pulling it so weird here. Even if I bring this down, it doesn't change the effect of that there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see what happens if I start subtracting half from this one here. And another half. If I select this one, maybe if we make this one undo, shouldn't be controlling here maybe, and then if we come back here and we force this one to grab all of that again. No, so we're still getting this weird indentation here. I really don't understand why. The weights are looking fine to me. The bone doesn't seem to be flipping. Maybe it's the fact that this bone is like going inwards a lot, but here it's doing the same thing. So I don't know. So we're just gonna have to work around that when we're animating. There are gonna be ways we can, I think, if we select the rig and go to like secondary face controls, we might have like, I don't know, some things we can do here. We'll have to see. We might have to fix this with a shape key and a driver, which shouldn't be too complicated. But anyway, let's get back to what my problem was. Somewhere along here in the face, some of these bones are affecting parts I don't want it to affect, so let's try and find them. Okay, so it seems to be okay now. Oops. Nothing is stretching past the neckline here, which is what we were looking for. So finally, let's just grab these bones here and enable this, and just hit smooth once, twice. Do the same here. I still want to remove this like that, and then hit smooth a few times, and maybe keep that there just to have a nice fall off. And the same here, we just hit smooth maybe twice, 3 times. Look at this. Yeah, here I saw some influence from this one. I'm gonna put this mirror thing on so I can remove anything this guy is influencing here, and then turn that thing off again, turn that on again, because we want to keep smoothing this out. So here we've got more. I saw just some light color change coming in here. We don't want that. Do the same. To this guy, just make sure there's nothing here, and yeah, I think that should be fine now. Let's see. Yeah, you see here we're still getting some effect. So let's see, if I go into weight paint mode, I think that is related to the head bone spine 6, I think, here. Yeah, I think so. I'll come in here and switch this thing on. So somewhere one of these bones are the cause of this problem here. You're gonna find it, even if we have to go down this list like that. Hopefully we're gonna find it, because there has to be something here influencing that part. Okay, I see the tutorial is almost in 30 minutes. We're just about done here. I'm not gonna go too crazy. If we have slight problems like this, it's one of those things. This is mainly just for you guys to see the workflow and hopefully understand it now, so that you can try and apply this and create your own characters and even get it up to the point of animating a shot. So this might be where we have a problem. So here we're gonna need add, and we can't paint through that. What we can do is go in edit mode here. I don't want to see through things, please. So let's hit this, the one below it, and let's catch this one here too. Okay, let's maybe even just go one above that as well, so catch this one. And then if we go back in here, we can only work on those pieces, I think, if I select that. So we want to add here the weight. Okay, and somehow I need to okay, so the problem here is not the weights, it's the angle that the faces are going, the top and the bottom faces, so it's creating intersection. So yeah, there's no fix for that besides hoping that if our subdivision goes up, yeah, that fixes the problem. Okay, so finally that's solved. We don't have a problem here. We can bring back the eyes now, close the rig. So everything is working now. I think we shouldn't have any problems. Our body's really rotating nicely. Yeah, you see we still have intersection, but we saw once we hit that up, things are looking much better. Blah, we don't want to rotate the body like that. Okay, so there we go. Our character is moving around. We can control a lot about him here. Everything is deforming very nicely, I think. And yeah, we're ready for animating. So in the next part, we're gonna do some scene setup, where we're just gonna make the floor, add some texture to it. We're going to create interaction with the dynamic paint. So we're going to create a little area on our floor that's going to be mud, and the mud is going to interact when the player or the character falls in it. The mud will deform, kind of sinking in, and we'll make it that the texture from the mud rubs off onto wherever the character touches it. So I'm really excited to do that, and yeah, see you guys in part 11.